In 1961, a young psychologist at Yale University wanted to answer a disturbing question. Not about criminals, not about soldiers, about ordinary people. Could a normal, kind person be convinced to hurt someone else simply because an authority figure told them to? Most experts predicted almost nobody would. They were wrong. Volunteers arrived believing they were taking part in a study about learning. They were assigned the role of teacher. Another volunteer, the learner, sat in a different room. Every time the learner answered a question incorrectly, the teacher was instructed to deliver an electric shock. The shocks became stronger with every wrong answer. The learner began to protest, then scream, then beg for the experiment to stop. Eventually, he fell completely silent. The teachers became nervous. Some laughed from stress. Some argued. Some wanted to leave. But whenever they hesitated, the man in the white lab coat calmly said, "The experiment requires that you continue." And most of them did. There was one thing the volunteers didn't know. The shocks weren't real. The learner was an actor. The real experiment was never about electricity. It was about obedience. When people hear about this experiment, they often ask, how could anyone do that? The uncomfortable answer is that authority quietly changes the way your brain thinks about responsibility. Imagine you're driving a car. Every decision is yours. You choose when to turn, when to stop, when to speed up. Now imagine someone else grabs the steering wheel. You're still in the car, but it no longer feels like you're the one making the decisions. Authority works in a similar way. When someone we see as legitimate tells us what to do, our brain often shifts part of the responsibility onto them. Instead of asking, "Is this the right thing to do?" it quietly asks, "Am I supposed to do this?" That tiny shift can completely change our behavior. You don't need a psychology lab to see this. An employee notices something unethical at work but says nothing because their manager approved it. A student believes an answer is wrong but writes it anyway because the teacher must know better. A patient accepts advice without asking a single question, simply because the person giving it wears a white coat. Authority doesn't force us, it influences what feels acceptable. Most of the time, that's incredibly useful. Imagine if nobody trusted pilots, doctors, firefighters, or engineers. Society depends on expertise. The danger begins when obedience replaces thinking. Milgram's experiment wasn't trying to prove that people are cruel. It showed something much more unsettling. Ordinary people, placed in the wrong situation, can do extraordinary things, not because they're evil, because they're human. It's worth noting that this experiment has been debated for decades. Researchers have questioned aspects of its interpretation and ethics, and some replications have produced different results. But it remains one of psychology's most influential demonstrations of how powerful situational pressure and authority can be. The next time someone tells you to just follow the rules, pause. Ask yourself one question. If nobody had told me to do this, would I still think it was the right thing to do? Because authority can guide us, teach us, and even save lives. But the strongest minds never stop thinking just because someone important is doing the talking. If this made you think about the last time you followed an instruction without questioning it, subscribe to Ember and Oak. Every week, one more true story, revealing the hidden psychology quietly shaping the choices you think you're making freely. Growing roots before branches.